Hey, everybody. Welcome to NRG this week. I am Mike Weiner, the CEO of NRG. I do not have Leon with me today. Leon is my partner in crime here. Usually we do this together. I do want to tell you about a big event coming up on Saturday night. Lori Landon is flying into Maryland. We've got the Journey Tribute Band. It's going to be Saturday night in Frederick. Go to my Facebook, go to my LinkedIn. You can get the flyer. Tickets are only $40, and I've heard the band through a video. They are awesome. So if you want to hear Journey's hits, you want to see me, you want to meet Lori and some other folks, come out to it. It's going to be 7:30 on Saturday night. Probably go to about 9:30. So NRG's blowing up right now. A lot of new members coming in. I'm very excited about that. Today we have a very special guest. She is a virtual assistant. The acronym is VA. Her name is Otencia. She is amazing. She's out in New York. She actually joined my West Coast Twilight group, which is an evening group, 9 o'clock on Wednesday nights, which is tonight. So we're going to have an opportunity to bring Otencia in. Come on into the NRG studio here, NRG this week. And Otencia, it's great to have you here. How are you on this beautiful Wednesday in the middle of May?
Hi, Mike. Thank you for having me. I am doing awesome. It's a beautiful day in central New York. Lovely outside.
That's right. You're just a couple states away. We won't talk sports, but the Yankees and the Orioles are fighting for first place. They are percentage points apart. But Tensia, you came to me recently. You are what we call a VA, and that doesn't stand for Virginia. It's a virtual assistant.
That's right.
A lot of folks do not know what a virtual assistant is. It's a relatively new term. So take 2-3 minutes, talk about what a virtual assistant is, and then we're going to dig in a little bit deeper. We're going to do a deep dive in for our viewing audience. But what is essentially a virtual assistant?
Okay, so Mike, yes, it is a pretty new field. Virtual assistant is more or less what you could think of as a receptionist, but I like to say we live in the cloud. We're not really face to face. We operate remotely, so we take care of remote and administrative sort of tasks to help small businesses and entrepreneurs and solopreneurs with receptionist like duties. It's a very diverse field. If you speak to 100 different virtual assistants, they all could tell you about something different that they might specialize in, but it generally entails administrative and technical functions, a lot of marketing assistance. So, for example, my company, Oualie Business Solutions, we help with a lot of social media marketing and like invoicing type of functions. To really give business owners back some time in their day, take some of those routine tasks off of their plates. A lot of virtual assistants could perform like QuickBooks or accounting type of functions as well. So it's a very diverse field. I don't venture into the accounting part of it myself, but if you speak to 10 other virtual assistants, likelihood is you're going to find some that do. So just here to help make people's lives a little easier, give them back some time in their day just to run their business.
Awesome. No, I appreciate that. That's awesome. So you know what? When we're young, when we're kids, when we grow up, we want to be a baseball player, a football player, a doctor, a nurse. I don't think when you were a kid you said, I want to grow up and be a virtual assistant. What was it that made you say, oh my God, this is what I want to do. I want to make it a business. I want to serve. And I'm big in the law of attraction. And that's what you do as a VA. You serve a client so that they can focus on the revenue producing activities and you can help them with everything else. But what would you say happened in your life where you're like, I want to be a virtual assistant?
Well, that is true, Mike. Growing up, virtual assistant was unheard of, never even heard of it. But my background is a technical one, so I have my bachelor's in information systems and my master's in healthcare informatics. So with that technical background, I know how to do a lot of the technical skills, functions. And so I started out as a young adult in college, working while going to school, doing sort of receptionist duties. And I've since departed from that. But I actually, funny story, I have a friend who actually worked in the SBDC, and she encouraged me, well, I should do something in business because typically the functions that I'm doing now, I was more or less helping friends and family with. And as you know, they're not paying Mike, it's just doing a favor for them. And so I thought of a way to monetize that would be, do it for other businesses. Likelihood is that people out there actually want that type of service that I have been doing for free, and it turns out that there is a huge need for it.
Oh yeah, yeah. And for those viewers out there, SBDC, that's Small Business Development Council, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Let's make sure we got the same acronym. So, because we're recording this now, Otencia, and someone may see this in a day, a week, a month, 2 months, a year, 3 years. And the cool thing about this is they'll be able to find you. So, and I know Jay is putting all your information there. So that's awesome. What would you say is one of your biggest success stories? What a client's come back to you and said, "Thank you so much. Because I hired you, I was able to double my revenue, lose all my anxiety." What would you say would be one of your, without obviously mentioning their name, and I know you know that, but
Right.
give us a testimonial from one of your members that has used you before.
So I serve a client who's actually still a client. So he had no social media presence, um, had been doing his business, but was too busy to really um, put his services out there online. And so I helped him to go from basically zero and grow a very huge following for him, so that his messaging, his business, his portfolio, everything was on Facebook and Instagram and Alignable and LinkedIn. And so, of course, met a lot of potential clients and just got the messaging out there. So he thanked me because he really didn't have time, but he had interest in doing it, just didn't have the time. And so I was able to serve him in that role, and he was very grateful. So that's a huge success story for us.
That's awesome. I'm going to ask you one more question, and then we're going to take a commercial break. I do want to mention for Leon, racquetball revival. Leon and I go back a minute, which translate that's about 25 years or so. And there's the racquetballrevival.com. But Leon works with students, kids really from I think 8 to about 18, 19, teaching them racquetball, but a lot more than racquetball, social skills. And there's so much going on in this crazy world that we live in. And I'm a real big proponent of law of attraction, serving and helping people manifest. And Leon's been such a great impact on these kids. So kudos to Leon for that. So attention, one more question, then we'll go to a commercial break. You and I met recently, with networking. When you join, I give you 3 referrals at the meeting. Then I blow your phone up with 23. Some people come to my meetings, they're like, networking takes a long time. I was in another group and they vetted me and they didn't give me a referral for a year. And that's not how we roll here. In fact, I had someone reach out to me a couple weeks ago and they're like, I need a virtual assistant. And I reached out to you immediately. So things can happen quick. Networking, things can happen quick. What would you say to the folks out there? They're thinking about coming out to check out NRG. Maybe they've never been to a networking group. Maybe they had a bad experience in a leads group. We're much more than a leads group. We're a referral organization. Take 2 minutes, 3 minutes. What would you say to them as far as your experience with NRG and your thoughts with them coming out and checking out a meeting?
Well, Mikey definitely blew my phone up. That was a very good thing. Things really moving at lightning pace with energy as far as getting contacts. I would highly recommend it to anyone who were looking for that type of referrals. I mean, I've met so many people all across the country that I probably would have never met if not for this group. And so I've formed some very good connections, huge prospects, some who have actually done business. And so I have not been disappointed at all. I would encourage people to actually, just come to a meeting, as you said, get 3-1 referrals right on the spot. And I started out that way, and I was a believer from the beginning because there was really just a different energy in NRG that really stood out for me as being different from some of the other groups that I've been to. And not bashing them in any way, but just saying that I like the vibes that NRG had. And so till now I have not been disappointed at all.
No, I appreciate that. And I remember when you and I first met, one of those evening groups, and you and I hit it off right away. I loved your vibe. You had great energy. You and I have talked about, you get to talk to people about different personal things, and I really enjoy having you with us. So when we come back, we're going to find out what your most unique client is. I'm going to ask you that question. So think about that. And we are going to go to a commercial break right now. We will be right back with NRG This Week.
Renting is everything. It's style at your doorstep, off the runway and into your closet. It's every trend you've been dying to try and every designer you've yet to discover. It's wearing it your way every time and making it count everywhere you go. It's never worrying about what to wear because something new is always coming your way. That's why renting is everything. New styles, top designers, all for a flat monthly fee. Start your subscription at renttherunway.com.
Slow roasted over hickory fire and pulled by hand. This is the way pit pork has always been done. Pulled pork lovers, rejoice. The smoky old days are back at the Smoke Shack. From the creative team that brought you the Browning Project and Dead by Morning comes a new thriller that will change the way you look at white-collar crime forever. Falling from the Sky.
Water. It's everywhere. We drink it, we bathe with it, we cook with it. Coffee's made with water. Toilets won't flush without it. It's used for washing clothes, dishes, utensils, pots, pans, floors, and our teeth. Plants and crops need water, animals drink it, and fish need it too. And don't forget, we can have a lot of fun in the water. Water. What would we do without it?
Hey, everybody. Mike Weiner here on NRG This Week. We are having a great conversation with Otencia, and I'm going to bring her back, and we're going to chat some more. So, by the way, those commercials were done by some of the interns. They do a great job with that. So, Otencia, I'm sure you've met with a lot of different industries. And again, without saying their exact name, what's the most unique industry that you've helped out as a virtual assistant?
So, Mike, I actually have a client who owns a hair salon, and that sounds pretty average, right? But what I like with this lady is that she also has a not-for-profit business, which pretty much seeks out women who have been in very difficult situations, battered or terminal illnesses or any type of personal, professional difficult situation that she pretty much uses her hair salon as a way to help these women to, at least for a moment in time, to really spruce up their images and not just on the outside. So she literally is using her salon service to help these women to feel beautiful from the inside, um, encouraging them, showing them a good time, helping them to just have, one day at least of just being pampered and feeling good and forgetting at least for a moment their situation. And so I thought that this was wonderful what she was doing. It was very humane, and I love that she was doing this not for profit, but just out of the kindness of her heart and reaching a lot of people. And so I thought this was a very good connection to make. I'm really inspired by her. That what she's doing, not just with her salon business, but for women in the community. So very inspirational.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know what? When someone calls you and they decide they're gonna have you as their virtual assistant, what do they get with you? Is it your energy? Is it your charisma? I already know all that stuff, but what are some of the things that you feel are really paramount and special and maybe different? Because I know there's a lot of VAs out there, and I've talked to different ones. Some of them are bland and whatever. But what are some of the unique benefits of working with Otencia?
Well, Mike, to be honest, I tailor my services to each business. So I don't take that one size fit all approach. So I really spend the time to get to know my clients and their situation and what they need, and not try to oversell them, but to cater to exactly what they need. It does take time and resources, but I really take that time to put that human touch to things and really make a connection. And so people appreciate that very much. And they also appreciate that I offer a wide variety of services. So instead of just having just one thing, I'm trying to reach that one-stop shopping kind of experience, and people appreciate that, so that they usually can get a couple things accomplished with my when they come to me for service, and I like that with them, because then it keeps people coming back and then they walk away happy.
We kind of talked about, I want to do a little bit deeper dive. We know what a virtual assistant does now. Benefits. Let's talk about, it, and I was kind of self-prompting, but I want you to tell us, revenue increase, less stress. What are maybe some of the benefits people don't realize when they call you, but because you're a professional, what are some of the benefits that they get? Not the services, but how are they benefited revenue wise, or less stress, or whatever?
Well, so time saving is a great one, and time is money, Mike. So once you're saving time, you're also saving money, because then you
Yeah.
have time to focus on your actually revenue generating services instead of the routine task. But also, when you hire a virtual assistant, you don't have the overhead like you would if you were hiring, say, an actual receptionist, where you'd have to pay the benefits like insurance and that kind of healthcare and that kind of stuff. So for us, it's a very tailored approach, like I said, with like pricing and things like that. But you could have us on a project basis, or you could have us on a monthly recurring basis, but you really don't have that overhead. So in that way, you're also saving in a huge way financially.
No, I love that, the time thing, because you know what, you can make money, you lose money, and make money again, but you can't make back time once it's gone. Like, it's May 8th at 3:20 Eastern time, and in 3 minutes this is already gone. It's already the sentence I just started is already in the history. So there you go. And I love the overhead too. The overhead, the health insurance, you hit some really good things. So, I'm almost, as I'm talking with you, for a new business, they need a CPA, they need an attorney or legal shield. They almost need a virtual assistant. It's almost like a trusted advisor, because, I work with all these members and they're doing a million things, and they're not doing revenue generating activities between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Because I have people that text me, Otencia, and I'm like, I'm going to have to deal with it after 5 o'clock, because if I'm on a Zoom, I'm here to help a member and get them referrals and, ultimately build my business. It's very important that I'm disciplined. That's one of the things that I really, and discipline, it's not always easy, but I think about law of attraction. If you always focus on serving other people, then the time goes fast, you have fun, it's enjoyable, and so forth. So
Right.
I've got one more question for you, and I'm not sure what I'm going
Sure.
to ask you. So I'm going to make it up here in the next minute because we've really dug in deep. My question for you, I know, what is one thing, and this is going to be the last question, then we'll wrap up. But what is one thing? I know you do social media. What's one thing you do as a virtual assistant that most people don't know that you do? What's something kind of hidden? Not social media. I don't even know if you get into accounting or bookkeeping or legal or any of that, but what's something unique that you do that people, if they knew you did it, the floodgates would open and they'd be coming to you?
So we're actually in the legal space a bit as far as so immigration services. So I do offer a service where I help people to complete their citizenship or naturalization applications and also permanent residency applications. And a lot of people don't know that. I am an immigrant myself, and so I've offered the services to people who it's been great with referrals, but just with people checking out my website or when they think of a virtual assistant, that's not the first thing that comes to mind. So that's probably one of my hidden gems.
It's awesome. When you say immigrant, New York's not, you're not an immigrant from New York because I'm in Maryland, right? Where are you from originally? I know you've told me.
So I originally grew up in the Caribbean, twin island called St. Kitts and Nevis. A lot of people haven't heard about it, but some have. Very popular spot, sun, sea, and sand. Beautiful and friendly people, just like
Gorgeous.
myself.
Absolutely. Gorgeous place. All right. So, Otencia, thank you so much for being here. NRG this week. It's been a pleasure. And hopefully, some of our viewers will give you a call, reach out to you by phone or email or web. And I got to tell you, personally, working with Otencia the last couple of months has been amazing. She's an amazing virtual assistant. I would definitely recommend to reach out to her. So, appreciate you being here. I'm going to wrap us up
Thank you
here.
so much, Mike.
You're very welcome. Thank you. So I'm going to wrap us up for NRG this week. If you want to reach out to me, there's several ways. You can reach out to me by email. It's mike@networkreferralgroup.com. You can reach out to me by cell. It is 443-756-9656. You can always get to me through the website too. It's nrg.online. Come the end of June, I've been doing this for 24 and a half years. The first 20 in Maryland and DC, Virginia, doing live meetings. We pivoted to when COVID hit, and then we went to Zoom, and I'm running about 32 Zooms. One of the things I'm really, really excited about, we're going to be doing a group leader training soon. I'm not going to run 32 Zooms forever. So we've got a group leader training coming up probably the end of May. Excited about that. It's time to pass the baton. I've got a lot of members that are very excited about running groups. We're going to be doing training for them on that. If you haven't been to an NRG meeting, reach out to me. We are growing leaps and bounds. Our Philly group has exploded. Atlanta has exploded. Long Island, 3 new members. We're West Coast to East Coast. We're in Canada, across the U.S. So if you're looking to network, you'll get 3 referrals at your first meeting, 23. I will blow your phone up as a new member, and we're all about law of attraction. So I thank everyone for being here. We're going to wrap up now, and we will see you next week on NRG This Week. Thank you very much.